Hey. Live.
Hello, and welcome back to the 12s and Stars Sports Talk podcast. I am your host, Wardang Sports, with my co-host, Prescott Season. How are you?
I'm doing good today. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm good. I get to cook later. Hopefully we can not record as long like we've been recording lately. But yeah, I think we should just immediately get right into the action of last week, shall we?
Yep.
All right. So
First off, we have the Titans and Browns.
With the
where the Titans won 31
No. The Detroit Lions defeat the Dallas Cowboys 44 to 3. The Cowboys gives up 40 plus points again. It was a game that was just overall dominated by the rushing game with some help from Jared Goff. I mean, you have 4 total rushing touchdowns and Jared Goff passing for 1 touchdown. So this was an overall game that was decided by the backs being much better than the Dallas rushing defense. I'm not going to let you skip over this like you have tried to skip over games before. What are your thoughts?
No, I knew you were going to stop me. It would just be good. Whatever. To make Quinn Williams, who had literally looked like the best D-tackle in football, look only alright, was very impressive by the Detroit interior offensive line, which I have reprimanded multiple times this year, which deservedly so. They have been getting wrecked by most interior linemen. The biggest example was Sunday Night Football against Philly. But Matt Eberflus defense decided to literally become the first half of the season again and absolutely just get dog walked. And it sucks because the stupid offense, even after the early mistakes and the absolute terrible first half, still scored 27 in the second half, and got you back in this game, and your defense couldn't stop a lick after multiple Dallas scores. And that stupid, absolutely terrible offensive pass interference call on Jake Ferguson, where he was just swimming through Alex Anzalone, who was the one performing the pass interference. If anything, is even worse. This was literally Dak almost carried you to a win, and your defense for the umpteenth time this year completely crapped the bed in every shape, form possible. They drive me up walls in games like this where the offense puts up 30 plus and Dak looks elite, and you can't do anything. The Panthers game is the big example of this, because if you didn't lose that because the defense was absolutely awful then, you are still very much in the playoff hunt. Now you need Philly to do what it seems like they're about to do, and that is completely choke away this division. At least you have that, but you also need to be lucky enough for them to lose to either the Commanders one of those 2 times and Buffalo down the stretch. You already got the Chargers giving you a gift. You have to let them. So you have to focus on your own games and winning out, going 10-6-1. You have to let Buffalo and hopefully the Commanders one time upset Philly to get you into the postseason.
Lots weighing on the minds of Cowboys fans. Moving on, we have this past week's Tank Bowl. You have the Tennessee Titans and the Cleveland Browns. The Tennessee Titans defeat the Cleveland Browns 31-29 to pick up their second win of the season, and we are 14 weeks in. The Cleveland Browns shining in some, I guess you could say, under Shedeur Sanders in the second half. Shedeur Sanders passing for over 350 passing yards on 23 for 42 efficiency for 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. He also led the Browns in rushing yards with 29 and 1 touchdown. Cam Ward had not the best game. He had 117 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. But Tony Pollard clutching up with 161 yards and 2 touchdowns off of 25 carries. Huh?
Cowboys legend Tony Pollard.
Cowboys legend Tony Pollard. It looks to me, again, like the game in the past. This was dominated by a rushing attack. But it's good to see Shedeur Sanders. It's good to see Shedeur try to get some of his footing in the offense. I mean, he's waited long enough. It's his time to really try to dominate. But what's sad to me is I keep saying Cal because I think of Browns, Cowboys. I don't know why. But Quinshon Judkins for 14 carries only had 26 yards. If this Titans team has anything of a passing defense and a mediocre offense, I think they would be middle of their division and not the worst team in the NFL.
Thank you, Brian Callahan, for literally ruining this team for 2 seasons. Or a season and a half. Anyways, Tank Bowl theme! If I don't get an ad at least, please don't get an ad. I knew it. Thank you, mute button.
Your thoughts on this game? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
It's kind of
I do just want your thoughts on this game because
I'll give them. I'm using the laptop instead of the phone. From the first time, it's probably a lot better for the sound than it was initially. Also, next time we talk about the weekly Tank Bowl, I want to start off the segment with the Tank Bowl theme. But yeah,
okay.
Shedeur. Hey, again, my biggest criticism of Shedeur has been he has terrible pocket presence. He needs to mature, and it just seemed like Dylan Gabriel was going to be a lot safer and not take stupid sacks. Shedeur, you're proving me wrong, buddy. I am happy you are. You're giving the Browns something. At least you're giving them that. And even if Quinshon Judkins, this offense has pieces. Harold Finn, Quinshon Judkins, and Dylan Sampson are literally fantastic weapons for the future, but you literally have no offense, even with Shedeur literally carrying you on his back. Cam Ward, if this game didn't show you that even with a whatever game from Cam Ward that he does not have something to be a franchise quarterback, I don't know what does. Honestly, the Titans might trade the number 1 overall pick for a massive haul to a quarterback-hungry team a la Chicago a couple years back because they might be that confident in Cam Ward. Get a couple firsts, couple seconds, maybe a player if you find a team stupid enough to do that, all of the Panthers. Maybe you have something here. I don't know, but Tony Pollard absolutely went off. Your leading receiver was Tajay Spears, the running back.
Yeah.
let that information hit. It just a lot of things. I didn't watch this game. I don't understand literally how it's physically possible for this team that scored 31, even though Ward threw a couple touchdowns. Tony Pollard was the entire offense. This was a game the Browns should have won by close to 29-17, but again, I need legitimately.
Yeah.
I know Browns fans are probably tired of Kevin Stefanski, and it seems like he doesn't even trust his own offense anymore. Again, I know you're against this. It's probably time for that to force to happen. Find somebody new. I think there's a couple of decent coordinator options for future head coaches, good ones. Just bring one in. Maybe it gives this team a new spark or something. And I think this offseason you can finally get off the massage parlor bandits contract. So you are going to have a lot of cap flexibility this offseason if that is the case. The Browns could be very exciting in the next couple of years if you do find the new man in charge to accompany Shadur.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I completely agree. With that, yeah, Stefanski needs to go. They have the pieces. They have decent receivers. I mean, they have everything there. They just need to have a good coaching staff. Moving on, the Miami Dolphins defeat the New York Jets 34-10. Not much here to talk about, in my opinion, besides the Dolphins winning like 5 in a row or something right now. But definitely a great game, a decent game from Tua. He had 127 passing yards with 1 touchdown. But, I mean, who really had a great game was Jalen Wright. He had 107 rushing yards off of 24 carries for 1 touchdown. And the Dolphins defense really shut down Breece Hall, only allowing 43 rushing yards off of 14 carries. The Jets quarterback struggles still continue. I mean, it seems every year we have, the NFL is going on as usual, and then you have the Jets quarterback subplot.
Listen,
so,
if
there's a lot to go off of.
As drunk as this NFL season is, and as crazy as every season can be, there's one constant in the universe: the New York Jets are terrible. Undrafted Brady Cook was god awful. Tyrod Taylor before he got injured was not doing good. And who knew when your entire offense is centered around one piece, because Garrett Wilson is still injured and legitimately you have nothing else, who knew a team could just key in on that and completely stop them? You are so pathetic that you let the Dolphins win in below 30 weather. That is how bad this got. You let the Dolphins win for the first time in below 30 weather in quite a long time, brother. Since it is bad. But yeah, like the offense for the Dolphins was just clicking. Again, decent game from Tua, not nothing spectacular, but I'm not expecting that out of him anymore. Jalen Wright, Devon A-Chain went off. And again, nothing big came out of the receiving game. Didn't need to. And just like, you're 6-7 right now. And you might be able to pull the funny. Mike McDaniel's proven me wrong each and every week, and he might have saved his job. Mike McDaniel might have literally saved his job with this 5-game stretch, because with how this started and everything falling apart around him, he's been able to rally the troops and at least a half decent, respectable team right now.
I mean, yeah, he's been great. The Dolphins have been pretty good, and you know what? It's weird to say, but if they win out, they could mess around and make the playoffs.
It'd be the
Moving
funniest
on,
timeline possible.
Now, originally, oh my gosh, we have. If something else, a certain team didn't do something bad and funny, this would be Circus of the Week, but it is not.
Oh, yeah.
The New Orleans Saints defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-20, where Tyler Shaw, honestly, the Saints won in spite of Tyler Shaw. The only thing he could do was get some checkdowns and throw a pick, where, I mean, you have Devin Neal and Tyler Shaw rushing. Huh?
Do not mock to Vanilla Vic Tyler Shaw with his 7 rushes for 55 yards.
I mean, he Tyler Shaw I in the passing game. I
understand that.
You expect Tyler Shaw to be a drop.
I understand. It's just so
you expect
funny.
Tyler Shaw to be a
pocket passer.
Yeah, you expect him to be a passing quarterback, and yeah, he's a pocket passer, and he rushes for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. But this is more so, I feel like, this is not really. I'm not here to talk about the Saints as much as the Buccaneers are really downhill. And I don't know if they keep playing like this, they could go from a top team in the NFL with an MVP candidate to not even making the playoffs.
I think Baker's still injured from his Rams. I think he's been playing injured. And it doesn't help that with all the injuries around them, but this team is not the team that started 6-1 atop the NFC and come out with a big win against the 49ers. This is not that team anymore. This team has fallen off a cliff. Like, I didn't even realize they lost till the next day. I didn't even pay attention to this game. It didn't even register in my mind that the Saints won until Monday Night Football. And I'm like, the Bucs did what? Like, I don't think I've seen a collapse like this. The Phillies in 2023, the Eagles in 2023 was bad. They still made the playoffs. This team has one of the easiest divisions in football and might not even make it. Like, this app is driving me crazy trying to fathom how this is possible. Because I went back and watched the highlights of this game. What happened?
I don't know, man. Really don't know. Moving on, we have a good win for the Jacksonville. Well, all right, it's arguable. So the Jacksonville Jaguars defeat the Indianapolis Colts 36-19, where Daniel Jones got injured. He now has a torn ACL, and Riley Leonard finishes the game passing for 145 yards and 1 interception, but also rushed for a touchdown. But you know, it was a quarterback sneak. I mean, it's just the big plot point on this is Phillip Rivers is now, because Riley Leonard suffered an apparent knee injury in this game as well. Phillip Rivers has been signed to the Colts squad and is now, for all things considered, QB1 in the big 2025. 44 years old. We now have behind center Jonathan Taylor receiving handoffs from Phillip Rivers.
For the first time since his rookie year in 2020. But this isn't like unprecedented either. Like Brady was playing at 45, so we haven't. It's not like we haven't seen this before. But the dude literally signed a contract to retire as a Charger earlier this year, and now he's back. This is so funny.
Yeah.
With how drunk this season went, this is the perfect way to cap it off for the Indianapolis Colts. Philip Rivers going back to save the franchise. Pulling a Joe Flacco.
Yeah. But yeah, I also real quick want to touch on the Jaguars. Travis Etienne rushing for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns off of 20 carries, and Trevor Lawrence passing for 244 yards and 2 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. And I used to feel like I'd have to come and, talk about Trevor like, Trevor, like, oh, come on, man, clean up those picks and you'll be good, just fine. He's been cleaning up the interceptions, and the Jaguars have been winning.
Yeah,
the Jaguars are now potentially a top team in the NFL, and they are in my top 10, but some people I've seen have them in their top 5 just because Trevor Lawrence stopped throwing those interceptions, and Travis Etienne is getting his yards. If this can continue to happen, you may have a dark horse candidate for the divisional round or even the AFC Championship game out of the Jaguars.
This is what I've been saying about T-Law. He's so inconsistent, and when he's not, and he's having one of those good games, it's like, yeah, keep this up. And he's been the last 2 to 3 weeks. Like, this is the T-Law we need to see week from week to week. We saw this in 2022 when you won the division after the Titans completely collapsed. This is the T-Law we need to see, and this is now you make this team dangerous when T-Law is not completely forgetting how to play his position half the time.
I mean, yeah.
Good for the Jaguars. Y'all might legit win your division.
I agree. Say that. It's good for the Jaguars. Good win.
Jacksonville.
But
it
was a great win for them.
If you stay consistent like this, you're AFC South champions for the second time in 5 years, which I don't think has ever happened in your team history. Take advantage of it because Houston's still up on your tail.
Yes, they are. Moving on, you have the Cincinnati Bengals falling to the Buffalo Bills 39-34. Now, first of all, I think this just proves that the Bengals are a completely different team offensively and kind of defensively when Joe Burrow is on the team and playing. Now, the defense did give up almost 40 points, but Joe Burrow passing for almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns was a good sight to see, but he also threw 2 picks, one of them being a pick 6. Now, Josh Allen, on the other side, had one of his games where he had 251 passing yards, he had 3 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown with 78 rushing yards. It's great to see Josh get be able to eat. But again, I would not be surprised if the Bills continue to either falter or just stay mediocre when it comes to top teams. Because it seems like one day they'll have a game like this where they're able to shoot it out with anybody, but then they'll lose to the Dolphins. So, you just never really know. But honestly, I just feel like this was a good offensive game to watch. I did get to watch some of this game, and it was definitely a fun watch because of the shootout nature. The Bills defense is still playing good football right now. I mean, especially the passing defense in this game.
Yeah, like this is even if the Bills are not as good as they've been in previous years, they still have a very good chance of making a deep playoff run and making the Super Bowl for the first time since the 90s. Because there's not going to be a Mahomes in the playoffs, at least currently. Sunday really might have tanked those chances. Lamar is not a guarantee in the playoffs. And it's just really just a bunch of inexperienced players and teams that have not experienced it much, and when they even if they have gotten there, they haven't shown that they can make it past the divisional at best. So this is really your last true shot to make the Super Bowl in a year where there's not really a true one-to-one contender outside of the Rams, and who knows if they make it, because this year is absolutely fricked. Like, it's not even, like, this game was insanely fun. This team, the Bengals obviously are, the Bengals are Joe Burrow or bust. The Bills are Josh Allen or bust. But Josh finally had one of those games where he's just not throwing interceptions or turning the ball over. This was one of the games where he was clean, he was making the right play, and the Bengals cannot stop Josh Allen scrambling out of the pocket and just rushing for a ton of yardage.
Yeah, I mean, when he plays clean, there's not much you can do to stop him. Moving on, we have the Minnesota Vikings, led by 9, McCarthy, downing the Washington Commanders 31-0. JJ 9, passing for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns, with Aaron Jones throwing in 76 rushing yards off of 14 carries. This game really just is a nothing burger to me, because I don't care how much you win by. I just don't. One game is not enough to say, "Oh, JJ McCarthy, he's back. Stop the memes. Stop the trash talk." I mean, I just don't know. But also, Jaden Daniels passing for 78 yards. I mean, you had both Jaden Daniels and Marcus Mariota passing for a total of 99 yards, and the offense as a whole getting 206 yards. I don't know if it was the Vikings defense. I did not watch this game, but still, the only thing to come out of the Commanders right now is still Terry McLaurin. On the other side, the Vikings, not much to talk about.
Jettas is still about to strangle Jonathan James McCarthy for not getting him the ball. I don't care if they won. He's really about to strangle this man for not giving him his target. I also need Marcus Mariota hunted down by the FBI for throwing that hospital ball to Zach Ertz, which landed a dirty, gnarly hit, which might have ended his career, bro. I need him arrested expeditiously. That's all I have to say about this game. There was nothing to it.
Yeah, I want to get an investigation involved here. Moving on, you have the Seattle Seahawks defeating the Atlanta Falcons 37-9. I'm going to let you talk first, and then I'll give my thoughts, because I have a lot.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about this game. Sam Darnold finally didn't look completely mediocre for the first time in a couple of weeks. No offense. Like, he was fine. He just had the games I've come to expect from Sam Darnold most of the time. It's just good completion percentage, finding the entire offense, which is Jackson Smith and Jiglet downfield, and playing a clean game. your defense doing your defense stuff. You made Kirk Cousins' life a living hell, and you could, which this was a double-edged sword of which you won, and you're probably still going to get the 5th seed, but you also gave the Rams a better chance of the top 5 pick. So whatever. Like, again, there's not much to talk about. The Falcons suck, and you're going to make the 5 seed at like 13-4, depending on how the Rams finish.
Yeah, I mean, the first half was actually tied. The first half was tied
6-6.
6-6. And I actually got to watch this game because the district I live in shows Falcons home games. So I actually got to see the offense stall out and the defense ball out in the first half. But the thing is, normally you see in football teams like that, you see, the offense will pick it up, but then the defense will still give up. In the third quarter, Rashid Shaheed took out the kickoff for a touchdown, and then the offense went on to score 17 points in the third quarter, and the defense did not let up another point till the fourth quarter, and it was a field goal. And then we scored another 14 points in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was a second half shootout for the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold passing for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns with 1 interception. The rushing game is starting to improve. You have Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker, and Velus Jones, and Sam Darnold all getting over 20 rushing yards. Now, the rushing scoring isn't happening yet, but we don't really need that right now because passing offense is just so good. I truly think that we still would definitely have a shot for not the NFC or in the NFC West, but it's going to take so much from some Rams losses.
Yep. Next up, I think we're both looking at the same game here.
Yeah. We are. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the Baltimore Ravens in a 27-22
victory.
It was like coughing baby. It was a weird game.
It was coughing baby versus coughing
scrub
baby.
One out. It was coughing baby versus coughing baby.
One just coughed harder.
One just coughed harder. Aaron Rodgers passed for almost 300 yards with only 1 touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell rushing for 15 yards and 1 touchdown. On the other side, Lamar Jackson throwing for almost 200 passing yards, 219, and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Derrick Henry finally getting some yards in, rushing for 94 yards. But Zay Flowers and DK Metcalf showed out for their offenses, receiving for 124 and 148 respectively. Overall, good passing for both teams, mediocre rushing, but I just feel like if the Ravens even want to compete, like I think they can, Derrick Henry, you have got to do what you've done your whole life and put your head down and run through an MFer's face. Because right now, I just feel like he's playing kind of scared, and the Ravens as a whole are just not playing very well.
The Ravens said that this was a playoff game. Felt like a playoff game. The receivers certainly acted like it compared to how they usually do, other than Zay Flowers. So that playoff atmosphere really came to play for Baltimore this past Sunday. This game, the AFC North, I know the South is stupid. Remember, the Bengals are not eliminated from the playoffs because the stupid AFC North still has not even gotten close to a champion yet. Your 2 leaders are 7-6 and 6. I won't say the other letter. This is This is one of the worst divisions in football this year, and it's not even close. No team deserves to win this. Hell, is Cleveland eliminated yet? I'm assuming so, right? Okay.
Yes,
I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't eliminated because no team wants to win this division. There's nothing to talk about here. Rodgers played fine. Lamar still looks half injured, and he is not playing well, even if he wasn't. And the Ravens receiver sold over and over and over again. And neither of these teams deserve to make the playoffs. In fact, I want to do the college football thing of the two Power 5 schools making the playoffs, because nobody in this division certainly deserves to make it. I need legitimate removal, and one of these two teams play an imaginary opponent. I don't know, some like a UFL team and like a crossover. That is legitimately what I need to see, because neither of these teams deserve to make the playoffs.
Both of these teams, it's coughing baby versus coughing baby. That's all that needs to be said. Moving on, a big nothing burger game, in my opinion. The Denver Broncos defeat the God Squad, that is the Las Vegas Raiders, 24-17, in a game that was just dominated by offense on both sides. Not much defense being played. Geno Smith somehow not throwing for an interception, and Ashton Genty still being underutilized.
As a Ashton Genty fantasy owner, I need I need the Raiders offensive coaching staff hung, and I need the offensive line for the Raiders hung. You are absolutely ruining this man. And hey, for Bo Nix, 31-38, still only 212 yards, but he didn't throw an interception. He was clean with the ball. Again, there's nothing to really talk about here. The only thing to really talk about is it existed. It was a game. It was indeed a game.
This game was indeed played between two teams that indeed in the NFL. Moving on, there's only a couple games. What?
Just like their first matchup on Thursday night, this was a game that was played.
Indeed. The Chicago Bears sadly fall to the evil Green Bay Packers, 28-21. The Bears played a decent game. They played a pretty decent game. I mean, Caleb Williams did throw that kind of game-sealing interception. So, if he doesn't throw that, do they continue to drive down and tie it up, and maybe the Bears win and cement themselves as the top of the NFC? Or not top of NFC, but a top team.
Yeah.
But they did not. The Green Bay Packers won this game in a all-around great showing from Jordan Love, throwing for 230-plus yards off of only 17 completed passes for 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Christian Watson received for 89 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Josh Jacobs rushed for 86 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, this is the kind of games I want out of the Packers and Bears. Just close and not having a team legit just own another because of one quarterback exists and not the other. Again, Caleb again did have a good game before the interception. Like, he was making some insane throws, but yeah, the Bears were never winning this division, which I know you don't like to hear, and me neither, because it'd be actually refreshing to see them win it for the first time and just feel like they actually have something here. But Detroit is, I think, still the better all-around team. Packers certainly are. This team's still young. The defense isn't that good. The offense is inconsistent. I still think you're making the playoffs despite my playoff bracket that I showed my co-host. Because even with the hard schedule, unless Detroit does in fact just completely go ham the end of the season. But this was a heartbreaker for y'all. It was one you could have won, and it sucks that it didn't.
Yeah, it sucks for the Bears as a Bears supporter. Not a Bears fan, but a Bears supporter.
But
good for the Packers. Moving on, the Los Angeles Rams, I guess they beat the Arizona Cardinals 45-17. Matthew Stafford passing for almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Blake Corum rushing for 130 yards with 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua receiving for 167 receiving yards with 2 touchdowns. You know, it's just the Rams are okay, I guess.
Listen, just because they're gonna have a top 5 pick and the 1 seed in the NFC doesn't mean you get to. I just looked at the stats. Why does Jimmy Garoppolo have 3 carries for -4 yards? Why is that the thing? Brother is depressed over here. Brother's depressed. But yeah,
legit. That Jimmy Garoppolo being in a Rams jersey just doesn't sound right to me, man. I just cursed.
I forgot he was on the team, honestly. I completely forgot he was the backup this year. But yeah, again, y'all are good. Y'all will have to somehow beat the Rams to have a shot at the division, which hopefully Sam Darnold doesn't throw 4 picks again that time, but y'all are going to keep up with them. Y'all are going to have a shot, and it's going to come down to which week was it, 17 or 18 with that game?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Anyways, moving on to arguably the worst Sunday night game.
Sunday night football.
This was
Sunday night football.
This is one of the I hated watching this. I enjoyed defensive games. This is painful to sit through. Like, the Texans defeat the now seemingly out of reach for the playoffs Kansas City Chiefs 20-10 in the battle of who can make more mistakes on offense and who would it fight more, and Kansas City down the stretch just absolutely crap the bed over and over and over again. That the first 4th down should not have ever happened. Your defense was doing fine. The second 4th down The second 4th down, absolutely terrible drop by Rashee Rice, and to follow up on that, multiple more and more drops by multiple Kansas City receivers, and even with those drops, Patrick Mahomes did not play well in the slightest. He was awful. 14 of 33 for $160 and 3 picks. Your rushing attack could not get going, and the Chiefs, believe it or not, might actually miss the playoffs unless a literal miracle happens the next 4 games of the NFL season.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have a field day when they draft Jeremiah Love. That's all I have to say about them. The Texans are playing amazing football. That's all.
Yeah. It also even with the injured linemen, I don't know if they would have played well because this stupid team is. This team was not good with a fully healthy offensive line. This team still isn't good, and the holes that it has are so clearly obvious, and I don't know if they can repair them this offseason without having massive changeover to the roster and coaching staff, aka fire Matt Nagy, literally holding this team back, and the roster is just bad all the way around. Anyways, the funny haha game, another very close to circus of the week contender, the old Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, Philly. 8 turnovers, huh? 22-19. You lost in OT. The fact you even got it to OT is kind of pathetic, not going to lie, for the Chargers. But 8 turnovers, 4 by Jalen Hurts, multiple fumbles, including a interception, fumble recovered by Hurts, and then a fumble by Jalen Hurts. You should not have been even any close in this game, and the only reason you were is because your defense is good, and Saquon Barkley had the Saquon Barkley stats are way better than they should be because of one long rushing touchdown, 52-yard rushing touchdown. Other than that, it was god awful for the rushing attack again. This and another good game by A.J. Brown, another game they lose when A.J. Brown has a good game. I do not understand how this correlation keeps happening, but the more this happens, the more A.J. Brown is probably going to not be a Philadelphia Eagle this offseason, and the more I shall celebrate such a fact. Thank you, Chargers. You kept the season for the Cowboys alive by pulling off the first of many funny things that need to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much said it all. This was a horrible game to watch. I don't even want to talk about it. This was horrible football. Genuinely horrible football.
It was. Neither team looked prepared. Neither team looked prepared to play a game. Like looked like they had no preparation, and it was. I don't understand it. It was terrible. This is the worst kind of football there is.
Moving on to a little bit of college talk. Auburn declined. For me, I'm very short. Auburn declines their invitation to a bowl game. Not a lot going on except Golish is making incredible moves on the staff. But you, on the other hand, have a lot to talk about. Or at least not a lot, but a decent amount to talk about.
Booma Suna is in the playoffs, baby. We weren't ranked down when we beat Mizzou 17-6. We weren't getting ranked down when we barely beat LSU. This team is not. This offense is not championship caliber, but this defense is legit top 5 to top 3 in college football. This team doesn't deserve to be here. This offense is awful. John Mateer still doesn't look right after his thumb surgery, but don't worry, college football. We're going to beat the Tide again. We just tend to do that. We just tend to beat the Tide. And I'd say we would have beat somebody else, but they were too busy doing other things. Doing many other things. Anyways, let us move on to the big top 10. The big top 10 in power rankings. Do you want to...
Indeed.
I guess I'll go first. And welcome back, Green Bay.
You can go first, but as you normally do.
Yeah, welcome back big old Green Bay, welcome back. Been a couple of weeks, haven't it? You deserve this spot much more than the 8 turnover Eagles, especially with Toyota Fawn Love just continuing to play like Toyota Fawn Love. Josh Jacobs getting another weekly touchdown, even though he forgot to get one in Thanksgiving, but I digress. Your defense looks good to amazing week to week, and you defeat little brother in the Chicago Bears once again. You're probably going to win the division minus a collapse, which doesn't seem even close to happening. And it looks like y'all can really make a deep playoff run this coming January. Number 9, haven't moved from last week. It is the big old Jacksonville Jaguars. Might have moved up to 8 if Daniel Jones didn't get completely wrecked on the football field by turf, which if you haven't heard, the NFL is actually going to get rid of turf and just have high quality grass for every field now. So no more stupid turf injuries. Let's freaking go, baby. No BS. So hopefully no more Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray stupid non-contact injuries. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence, you're finally not being inconsistent to the entire football world, and you're just playing good. You're the engine of the offense, as we all thought you would have been after you were picked number 1 overall in 2021. Continue this farther into this season and all the way through next season and through the rest of your career. The defense is still pretty decent. The Devin Lloyd DPOY train has slowed down a little bit, but he's still playing awesome. And you very much have an incredible shot to win your division. I still think a certain team in your division is better than you, but that is only due to proxy and not your fault. Number 8, Detroit. That's the offense I came to expect. You just abusing defenses, even which have looked improved. You took advantage of one that had flaws. You made the Dallas defense completely just look like the first half of the season, as I've said. And your defense was able to force a couple of mistakes out of Dak Prescott, one much more on Dak than it was on him than the other. And you just have to win out, and if you beat Chicago, and if Chicago loses a couple of games, you might find yourself in a big old wild card spot. Of course, that would require some help, but you have a very good shot to make the playoffs and still be be a very good dark horse for a Super Bowl run. Number 7, the Texans. Yeah, again, not a move up, not a move down, but you beat the Kansas City Chiefs in a must-win game for both sides, and you look like and if Jacksonville plays like inconsistent Jacksonville drive to drive again, you very much could be the AFC South champions for the 3rd year in a row, first time in the new Houston NFL team franchise history. C.J. Stroud, I still need him to get an actual offensive coordinator, an actual offensive line to protect him, because Dalton Schultz is still a very underrated tight end. Nico Collins is still an elite wide receiver. Nick Chubb is He's not Nick Chubb. Well, oh my God! How did I forget the stupid name of the running back they have? I'm brain dead. Literally brain dead. Oh my God. Woody Marks. Woody Marks looks like a pretty decent rookie, and again, that defense is just it's between you and Denver for the best defense in football. Boy, do y'all, as I think you're gonna do anything this year. Another team higher than you on the power rankings still, but I digress. You're still a pretty dang good team regardless. Number 5. Oh, Chicago, how I wish you beat the Packers. It would have been so funny. But again, as I said, you're still a little too young. You're still meshing with Ben Johnson as head coach. Even despite your record, the defense is still figuring it out. It still needs a headliner on the defensive line, I feel like, which you, depending on what happens, you could eventually find, but for now, that doesn't look too... But for now, you're going to have to just fight and die with what you have. Colston Loveland finally is starting to get the ball for your offense, and it's so good to see the rookie finally come to the point, which I thought that Ben Johnson made Sam Laporta one of the best tight ends in football there for a second. He still is. I wish he still got used more, but I still digress. And the rushing attack is still pretty decent. Now you're using Kyle Monangai some more. Number 4. You're still here, Denver. You still exist. I wish you didn't. I'm still waiting for that. I cannot wait for the playoffs to start. It's just so you can get completely worked over. But Bo Nix, 31-38, 2-12. It's just a clean game. Your offense was ugly again. And you somehow let Geno Smith have, unironically, his best game of the season, which is kind of sad. If you 13 of 21, under 200 yards and a touchdown is the best game of the season for a quarterback. That's still wild. But whatever, you're here, you're still close to the 1 seed in the AFC, if not the. And y'all just need to keep doing y'all's thing. And just be the 2024 Chiefs, which means you're going to get completely stomped in the playoffs, which makes me very happy. Number 3, Buffalo. That was a little too close, but again, Joe Burrow is not a normal quarterback, even with a couple of picks. Josh Allen had one of the very, very good Josh Allen games, and James Cook looked like a good game, not the great game that we've come used to, but you're not going to have those every week. The defense really died on the field, might as well have, outside of the 2 picks, because you could not stop Joe Burrow in Cincinnati to save your life. Even still, this upcoming matchup with big old New England will really show me and many others where you truly do stand. If you can finally stand up and defeat a team that had beat you earlier in the year and is considered a top team in football right now in the Patriots. Speaking of, Drake May continues to be Drake May. Y'all ain't moving on number 2 just because y'all are on a bye week. You're still the New England Patriots. The Evil Empire is still alive. And the team is still damn good. The offense still But this will truly show if this is your first game against a good team in a couple of weeks, you have squashed your easy schedule and have defeated a couple of teams that have been considered some of the elite in the NFL, at least before the mid-season mark where one fell off in the Bucks and the Bills. And if you beat the Bills again, you have the AFC West on a silver platter. Number one, still ain't leaving, no matter what my co-host feels about it. The Rams. It's still Rams' house, baby. Matt Stafford continues to make his case for MVP. The rushing Blake Corum had one of the games that made him look like his Michigan form for the first time in a while. The receiving and defense, just everything about this team is just incredible. Yes, they're not immune to the bad game. No team is. You're just good. We've reiterated this over and over and over again. You are a top 2 or top 1 team in football, just nonstop, because you have not shown a true weakness in quite a while. Those are weak.
Not a bad list. Not a bad list. Not bad at all. My top 10 goes actually quite a bit different than yours, I suppose. Number 10, the Buffalo Bills. You have yours down at number 3. I just feel like if you're talking about the potential of the Bills, oh, they're definitely top 3. But how they're playing right now, I just don't know if I'm very impressed with a 5-point win against the Bengals. It just doesn't move me that much. The Bills, I just feel like if they play their strengths, they will definitely rise. Yeah. Number 9, I have the Houston Texans. Houston, you have been balling out lately. You've been playing great on the passing. We still have no idea where Joe Mixon is. But anyways, you have some quality wins right now, and read off some of their wins. But right now they started I don't know what their record was, but now they are 8-5. So let me just pull up. The Texans have wins over the Bills, the Colts, the Chiefs, and the Jaguars, and the 49ers. I mean, this Texans team is playing good teams and beating them. They have losses to the Rams and Seahawks and Buccaneers. So their losses are also good teams. They are playing good football. They got to keep doing so if they want to rise. But I think them and the Jaguars could even be a playoff game. Or when they play, or no, they've already played twice. But I feel like the Colts and the Texans will be a playoff game. Moving on, at number 8, I had the Detroit Lions. The rushing game was just dominant against the Cowboys. If you can keep that up and allow Jared Goff to just do what he does, the Lions could go back to the NFC Championship game. Now, if you force Jared Goff to win you the game, I don't know about that. I just don't know. But I feel like if the Rams can continue to have a balanced offense, they will absolutely, and I mean absolutely, continue to win. Moving on, I have the Bears at number 7. Chicago, you really broke my heart by losing to the Packers, but I don't blame you. The Packers are a great team. Caleb Williams, you have to clean up those picks, clean up you need to do what Trevor Lawrence has been doing lately and play clean games with more than one passing touchdown per game. I mean, I swear, I see there's so many games where he's only passing for one touchdown. I don't understand it. I just don't. Moving on. Or not even moving on. No, I'm going to stay on this for a second. The Chicago Bears are going to be nothing if Caleb Williams cannot pass for more than one passing touchdown per game. I don't care how good their rushing game is. I don't care how good DeAndre Swift plays. If you genuinely cannot play cleaner games, Caleb, you could go 17-0. You will lose in the divisional round. Or you could go 16-1 and still make the wild card. You will lose in the wild card. When the playoffs come, you are going to have to be able to take over a game to win, especially when you're the Bears. Number 6, the Jaguars. Like I said, Jacksonville's been playing some clean games. Trevor Lawrence in particular, they're getting the ball to Travis Etienne, they're getting the ball to all of their backs. I mean, this is just overall, the team is they're not on fire, but they're playing great football. I mean, they play clean. They play clean football. Their defense does what needs to be done. Their offense does what needs to be done. It's ethical football. Now, will ethical football win you a Super Bowl? Maybe, but your defense is going to have to ball out. Number 5, I have the Green Bay Packers. Josh Jacobs getting his carries and letting him eat is always a good move, but Jordan Love playing this time of the month, Toyota Fun. Is it Toyota Fun? Jordan Love? Or is that what it is? I think so. I didn't know if you were going to respond. You might be gone. Anyway, yeah, Jordan Love always tends to play good this time of year, and if he can stretch this out to January, the Packers may be a dark horse Super Bowl winner. I'm just saying. Number 4, I have the Denver Broncos. The close score of this Raiders game does not scare me. I feel like that this was just, this whole week was just kind of weird. But this was one of those things where, if you look at it, they only won by not that much compared to usual. But also, last time they played, I feel like the Raiders had the Broncos figured out, and they know how to play them. Or the Raiders had the Broncos figured out, and they know how to play them well. Whereas the Broncos, they kind of play every team the same, and they live off their defense. But also, I think that also is what makes them strong. This defense is playing good football, and when he needs to, Bo Nix can take over a game on his legs and with his arm. Number 3, the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks come back in at number 3 because they absolutely dominated the Falcons. Falcons aren't great, but lately this defense, especially Ernest Jones in particular, is just a wrecking ball of a player and a wrecking ball of a unit. This whole defense plays like one soul, one mind, a hive mind, a unit. They play together. They play for each other. They play for Mike McDonald. This Seattle Seahawks defense comes to play every week. We just need to see Sam Darnold do the same. Number 2, the New England Patriots. Drake May continues to play good football. They were on a bye week this week, but in the past 3 or 4 months, it's been nothing but W's for the Patriots to snack on. And sadly, I have the Los Angeles Rams at number 1 in my power rankings. I mean, it's just hard. It's hard not to when you have Blake Corum doing as well as he is. Puka Nacua is playing like a top 5 receiver in the NFL. It sucks for me to say this, but the Rams are just the best team in the league right now, and it's close. but beyond the 1, 2, and 3, there's a huge gap between it. So I truly believe that the Seahawks, Patriots, Rams, and Broncos could win the AFC Championship games. And that will conclude my power rankings. Not a whole lot to explain. I just feel like this is the best list I've put together in a while. Now, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just meant to feed cows. I'm back.
No, you're good. Moving on, we have, hopefully, I don't know where we're at in our time for this, but just a quick overview of our predictions for next week. Let me pull up my pick'em, and I will. I think we should. I just don't know. Let's look at these games.
I'm getting there.
Do you have any thoughts on my power rankings?
No, I understand them. I do understand them. We have the same exact teams. I just have them in different positions than you, so we both have opinions that feel very similar to each other, but yeah.
Yeah. Except the Bills are not top 3 and you're just stupid. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm kidding. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Atlanta Falcons in Tampa Bay. I'm going with the Buccaneers right here.
I'm going to go with the Falcons. One, the Buccaneers have never beaten the Falcons when Kirk Cousins is quarterback, so maybe we can continue that tradition. Also, I don't trust the Buccaneers in any scenario right now. You just lost to the Saints. I just don't trust it. Maybe that's just me, but I'm gonna pick Atlanta here, even if 96% of people pick Tampa. I don't see it.
Next up, the Chicago Bears over the Cleveland Browns. That's my pick. I'm going to be giving my pick, and then you can give yours. But the Bears are just much better than the Browns.
Yeah, we have the exact prediction here. If the Browns pull off the funniest thing imaginable, I'm going to laugh, even if it does hurt the Bears' playoff chances, which I hope they make the playoffs. But it'd be very funny. It would be very funny.
One of these days, you're finally going to get my get back, or get your get back for all my talk on the Broncos and Bears and my crapping on the Cowboys. It's going to come back to bite me. And if this is a game that happens, I wouldn't be very sad. Moving on, I have the Cincinnati Bengals over the Baltimore Ravens. I just feel like Joe Cool is going to show up, ball out, and go home.
Yeah,
I just think this is going to be a blowout, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have the Bengals too. Like, literally 2 weeks ago, you dog walked them the entire day on Thanksgiving, especially in the second half. The early Steelers did not show me that, maybe it was just that week. You're not going to beat. Again, I do think Cincinnati is going to make the postseason, merely because the AFC North is going to collapse around them. And I do think Mike Tomlin's finally going to have his first losing record in his career, just because nothing in this NFL season makes sense. And it's still going to continue here with Bengals over Ravens.
Yeah. Moving on, I have the Los Angeles Chargers over the Chiefs. The Chiefs coming in at 6-7 on the season. If they lose this game, I feel like that's pretty much it for them. I just don't see the Chiefs having any sort of chance to win out. Much less do I see them having a chance of winning this game.
I agree. I also rocking with the Chargers. How 46% of people are picking the Chiefs, I don't know how. Like, I understand it if the Chiefs Do you think the Chiefs of the past 7 years, 8 years, this isn't. This Chiefs team is weak. It is bad. And the Chargers, even with legitimately no offensive line, I'm still hoping that even with and Mekhi Becton sucks. He just does, which absolutely sucks given that he was dang good for Philly. If you just need, I just hope the Chargers offensive line gets halfway healthy for the playoffs, so they actually have a shot. But even still, I don't see them beating the Chiefs. I don't see the Chiefs finding a way to beat Chargers and keeping the playoff hopes alive.
Yeah. I mean, this is not your Chiefs team of the last 6 or 7 years. It's just they're nowhere near as it's like they look like a retirement home. Everybody's just calm despite being 6-7 on the season. But who knows?
Yeah.
Next up, you have the New England Patriots. My pick is the New England Patriots over the Buffalo Bills, which is funny because the spread right here, or the fan vote, is 46% Patriots, 54% in favor of Buffalo. And this is in Foxborough. I just don't know, and I feel like the Patriots are just playing much better football.
Let it be known, I am one of those 54. I am not going against the Buffalo Bills. I don't know why. You know how I felt this way about Kansas City for a couple of weeks, and it's like, oh yeah, Buffalo hasn't shown me.
That's how that turned out.
Yeah, this Buffalo team is still 9-4. Do not forget that this Buffalo team is 9-4. It's not like they're 7-6. Yes, the Patriots are playing good football, but there's also an angry Buffalo ready to drive by them and take back the division that they've held hostage for quite a long time. I don't know if that's for the last 5 years. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do see Buffalo winning the game and getting their get back for week 3 or 4.
I just don't see that happening. Moving on, you have the New York Giants over the Washington Commanders.
Yep.
This is your Tank Bowl of the week.
It doesn't matter who wins this game. The only way it matters is if the commies somehow win this completely depleted, which the only reason it'll matter is it gives the Giants a chance at number 1, which they probably do the same thing that I suggested the Titans do, and that's trade it away.
Hold on, I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah!
The combined record of this game is 5-21.
It's something. It isn't be something.
It truly will be a game of all time.
Next
up, I have the Philadelphia Eagles over the
It might be It might be worthy of Super Tank Bowl. It might be Super Tank Bowl of 2025.
I don't know. I think yes. I think last week's Cleveland and Tennessee was
the only one that would have matched it is Tennessee versus Las Vegas.
True. Moving on, we have the Philadelphia Eagles over the Las Vegas Raiders.
Sorry about that.
I feel like the Raiders, if they do the funny ha-ha thing this game, and the Eagles, I don't think I'll ever be able to hear the end of it.
Oh.
You are, because of how insufferable you will.
Absolutely not. I do have Philly too, but it's not impossible with how Philadelphia is playing right now, but Vegas does suck, so yeah.
Yeah, moving on. I had the Jacksonville Jaguars over the New York Jets.
Same here. Unless Jacksonville decides to turn into inconsistent Jacksonville, it's a dog walk.
There's just not a lot to say. Next up, you have the Houston Texans versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals be 3-10. They at least don't feel like a team that would be 3-10. But the Texans are just better. They've been playing amazing football, and if they can move on to go 9-5, and in the next couple weeks seal a playoff spot, that would be pretty much. I'm not saying that D'Amico Ryans would have been fired after the season if they continued to play how they were, but he would have been on the hot seat. The Texans are now playing with house money, in my opinion. They are playing great football. D'Amico Ryans' job is safe for now. C.J. Stroud is balling out. We just need to figure out where Joe Mixon is and if he's not on the planet anymore.
Yeah, keep doing your picks. I gotta go do something real quick.
Well, that sucks. Moving on, I have honestly, this might be the game of the week. I have the Denver Broncos over the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay coming off of a good win against the Bears. I just think that the Broncos are better, and I think this is finally a chance to shut up my co-host. I hope he listens to this. The Broncos are a good team, and they will prove it with a win over the Packers. Moving on, I have you know what? No, I'm going to stay a hater. The Detroit Lions over the Los Angeles Rams. And I think that if the Lions play like how they can, it will be a pretty easy game. You get to see this matchup every year because of Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. But, you know, I truly just think that the Lions are going to play better. I don't think they're the better team, but I just have a feeling that the Lions are going to come to play. Moving on, I have the Carolina Panthers, the surging Carolina Panthers, over the New Orleans Saints. The Panthers, kind of hot right now. They're 7-6, the opposite of 6-7, and are kind of starting to come back for their division. I mean, it helps with the Buccaneers as bad as they've been lately, but I mean, Bryce Young coming off of a great game against the Rams. It's just Bryce Young is playing well. The defense is doing what needs to be done. This is a great chance for the Panthers to get some separation in the division standings. Moving on, I have the San Francisco 49ers over the Tennessee Titans. If I have to explain why, I'm very sad, but I will anyway. Titans are the worst team in the NFL by far. Or not by far, it's close between them and Las Vegas, but the Niners are still one of the better teams in the league. I have the Seattle Seahawks over the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers has a chance to start this game. Phillip Rivers has a chance to start this game. So I don't know what's going to happen, but if it does, that will be one of the funniest things to happen in a long time in sports. But I just feel like that the Seahawks, whether you see prime Phillip Rivers out here passing-wise, I don't care. This defense is dominant from Seattle. This linebacker room is hungry. The DBs, the cornerbacks, every single part of this defense is playing as one. This Seahawks defense is just the best in the league, and I don't think it's particularly close. I think the Seahawks win about 20 to 40 points. Next up, I have the Dallas Cowboys for the Now, I wouldn't buy Vikings upset. Cowboys are a team. I hope that George Pittman comes to the he does. It seems like the entire team does. Now, when am I saying that this game is going to be a blowout? No. Am I saying that it is going to be a easy win for the Cowboys? Yes. The Cowboys are favored 85% to 15, and there is a reason why. Because that's horrible. Moving on to Monday Night Football. The 6-7 Miami Dolphins take on the 7-6 Pittsburgh. This is the true battle of mid. The Steelers just have a better overall team, but I would not be surprised if the Miami Dolphin train continues to roll.
Returned. Okay, where do we leave off? Okay.
I've given all my picks.
Okay.
I've given all my picks. You left off at Texans and Cardinals, so I'll just let you give your pick from then on.
Yeah. You know I'm never against a team that has a good record. I'm never picking the Broncos. You give me. This is the first game that shows the cracks in the terrible Denver Broncos. In this god-awful Denver Broncos team. It is going to finally humiliate Denver. Packers by 50. Please, Green Bay, I don't care about our draft pick now, that you're going to win your division regardless. Just give me this. Anyways, Detroit, I'm sorry. You are going to get dog-walked by Los Angeles. The Rams, as good as you are, the Rams are a better team. By far, unless the Rams have one of their bad games again, I don't see how this goes your way. Like, you do have a good offense, but that defense has just a fantastic defensive line, and big old Detroit, you are going to need to win 3 more games to have a shot at the playoffs. Carolina, big old Carolina, you are going to continue your quest to the most obvious, to one of the most surprising division titles in recent memory by defeating the team that the Buccaneers couldn't last week in the big New Orleans Saints, the very dangerous 3-10 New Orleans Saints. They beat Super Bowl contenders. They even beat you. And again, the second time. San Fran, is there a way to describe how dog-walked the Tennessee Titans are going to be in this game? I don't know, 70-2. I'll give y'all a safety. If Phillip Rivers plays in this game, and if y'all somehow pull the funny, I will laugh so hard, but it's not. It's not. You're gonna win no matter who's starting. It's legit just unless Jonathan Taylor literally makes that defense look foolish, I don't see how this is happening. You know I'm never not picking the Cowboys. That as much as that offensive line for the Vikings still isn't good, and you face a terrible Commanders pass rush. I'm supposed to be impressed. That J.J. McCarthy still got sacked 4 times, even with a terrible pass rush. So, and I don't know if your defense will have a shot at stopping the offense for Cowboys. Cowboys keep their season alive and continue to try and hunt down Philly for the division. Again, I hope Las Vegas pulls the funny, but that is very unlikely to happen. And I think you said Miami for the last pick.
I said Pittsburgh.
Well, I'm going to pick the big funny. I'm going to pick the Miami Dolphins. Again, I don't see this division. I have the entire game score being 9 points. This is how bad I see this going. This game is not good, but Miami, yes, it's a cold game. It's that stupid that I can see this happening. It's literally that stupid that I can see this happening. So give me Miami.
I feel like football it's mid. I don't know if that's just me.
Oh no, this game.
Let's move on.
This game could happen and nobody is going. This game will happen and nobody's going to pay attention to it.
Yeah. But moving on to the finale of this episode, you have the weekly rant. Another of the week this week because both of us are going to dig into the Notre Dame Fighting Irish organization. You barely missed the playoffs, and instead of, and because you play a kick schedule without the conference, you decide you know what? Let's go out on a good win and a good bowl game. You know, let's go play in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Let's go play in any bowl, any good top-tier bowl. Nah, you know what? We're going to play and not play at all.
This is the most pathetic. Like, Alabama was complaining last year. This is new level of being a baby in sports. Like, everyone completely clowned on Alabama. This is a new level of getting clowned on. You bitched and whined and moaned so much that for next year and now on, if Notre Dame gets a top 12 in the national rankings, you're in the playoffs automatically. That is pathetic. That's pathetic that you bitch, whine, and moan that you get this. This is pathetic. I've never, ever seen something like this in my life. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is completely disrespectful. This is completely childish. This is complete disrespect to the student body and to the team who voted for this. You are as entitled and as big a crybaby as your stupid as the head of your school. It is one. I've never seen this before in my life. I don't think I ever will again. And if I do, this same argument will be brought out. You don't deserve a bowl game with how you acted. You don't. You really just don't. It is sad what you did for this. Like, oh my god.
It's so... No fan base deserves this more than Notre Dame's, in my opinion.
They are acting like Eagles fans, and the only difference is that they're not completely being violent. They're just being completely insufferable. Again, you don't deserve a bowl game because if you because you got offered probably multiple upper tier ones, and you just cried about it. That is new levels of petty and new levels of pathetic.
It truly is. Well, that will wrap up our fifth episode
6
of the 12s and Stars, 6th, or however, this will finish up this episode of the 12s and Stars Sports Talk podcast. I am your host, Wardang Sports, with my co-host, Prescott Season. Be blessed. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and good night.
Good night, everybody. God bless you.